Hey, how you guys doing? Yeah, it's been a while since I've posted reviews of quite a few knives. So over the next few days, I'll be posting a few reviews of some interesting knives that I've got. Knives that I got shipped to a family member in the US, and then this family member brought them to me when they came to visit for Christmas. So stay tuned for a few nice reviews. So the ones for today are a few real steels that I've bought over the past, let's say, 6 months or so, and that I just received now around Christmas time. So there's four models here. So the first one, let's get started, is the H7 Snow Leopard. This one is a back lock, or lock back, whatever you want to say it. I typically don't buy lock back knives. I don't know, nothing's really against them, it's just I don't really like the styling of most of them, but this one is one that actually, the style appeals to me, and I found it kind of cool looking with like the two-tone G10. So that's the Snow Leopard. You can see, so the stonewash blade. It's a fairly hefty knife, quite thick. The nice thing about it is, like, for a lock back, like, there's no blade play whatsoever. The lock back is also very easy to disengage. This one runs on phosphor bronze washers, and it's actually fairly smooth. Well, for a lock back, I mean, some guys on other videos were able to flick it open. I can as well, but I need to kind of concentrate on it, and it's not that easy to do on camera. It definitely gets easier with the flick of a wrist. So overall quality is very good on this knife. Fit and finish is excellent. Like, all the contours are rounded, so no sharp edge anywhere. The thumb studs are also, like, fairly wide, so it's very easy to exercise. This knife is extremely comfortable in the hand. I don't know, the way they did the handle, at least it fits my hand perfectly. So I have a medium-sized hand. So first finger here, second, third in the middle, and then the fourth here. Very, very nice grip. Also a bit of jimping here on the thumb ramp. Not overly aggressive, but nice enough to give some good traction. Really, really like the blade shape on this one. I think it's quite nice, and the stonewash is quite beautiful as well. So this one is like a 9 centimeter blade, and as I said, like, the knife is quite heavy. Total around like 170 grams, if I believe. Yeah, so I can see it's fairly thick, but very, very comfortable. One feature on this knife is, like, they have a locking mechanism here, so if you push, you cannot open the knife. Then you can open like this, and it locks it in place where you cannot disengage the lock. And I don't really use that, but it's a nice feature to have for people that use this type of things. Pocket clip is quite nice. Not super deep, but deep carry enough. Tip up, tip down position on the right hand. So yeah, so it's not that smooth to deploy, and the blade, you can see it's quite centered but not perfect. It was even worse when I got it. The blade was a little bit more to the side, so I had to unscrew the pivot a little bit to kind of, like, make it was also a bit stiff, so it got a little bit smoother when I did that, and the blade a little bit more towards the center. But and I still don't have no blade play, so here's for this one. So it's not as smooth as some guys I've seen that were able to flick it open. Well, this time I got it, but it's smooth enough for a lock back, I mean. And this is a very nice knife to carry every day, if you don't mind, like, being a little bit on the heavier side. Like, there's a heft to it for sure. One thing though, so when I had to untie this pivot screw, it was actually really, really tight. which, you know, I should have learned because that's the first one that I adjusted, but I should have suspected something that I'll get to a little bit later. Real Steel is using some pretty strong Loctite on this, or thread locker. It was quite hard to break it to be able to adjust the pivot, but I adjusted a little bit and now it's a bit smoother and a little bit more centered. Not perfect, but a little bit better. Now next is the Griffin, or the E775. This one, actually I decided to get this one last minute. I was planning to get the H9 tack-in, and then I had to make a decision and I got this one instead. So this is a button lock, a knife from Real Steel. It is aluminum scale, so it is very light, below 100 grams, and the blade is 9 centimeters. Very nice blade, full flat grind. There's a finger choil here in the front for like more detailed work. Some nice, you know, not overly aggressive but still effective jimping on the top if you want to grab it like this. Very comfortable as well, either in the choke up position or in the regular position. This one runs on needles, on bearing needle washers, whatever they call it. I didn't open it because there was no need to. This knife came extremely smooth out of the box. I mean, here you go. It just falls freely as soon as I depress the button lock. Very smooth knife. Few ways to open it. You can open it like gentleman style, like slowly like this. It's effortless. Like, the bearings are excellent on this. You can open like an axis lock style, open and close like this. You can flick it open with the thumb, or I kind of use more like the spider coat technique, like from the back. Very nice, extremely smooth. This one came perfectly centered, so there was nothing to adjust. I didn't add a drop of oil or did nothing to this knife since it came out of the box. I did nothing to it. It just came basically perfect. I was actually, like, I had seen videos of people showing how smooth it is, but yeah, this knife, it is very smooth. An excellent buy, an excellent EDC. It is very light, the size is decent, and a very nice knife. What else to say about it? I guess that's pretty much it. Nothing much to talk about it other than that it's a very good EDC and very smooth. Yeah, I was actually very happy with this one, so the H9 tack-in will need to wait a little bit. That'll be for next time. Yeah, you need to experience this knife to see how smooth it is. It's crazy. One of the smoothest knives that I have. Okay, next is that's my favorite one. That's actually the knife that got me interested in the Real Steel brand, and that's the E771 C-Eagle. I just love this knife. I love this type of look, like the Shirogorov style look. Gorgeous knife. So steel liners that extend a little bit out of the carbon fiber laminate that is on the top. Very smooth action, and like I said, gorgeous knife. Maybe not as practical as the other ones for like EDC stuff, but you know, it is just an awesome looking blade, at least in my opinion. I love the pivot. Like, my camera is kind of shit, but so basically, like, here we go, I think we can see. So it's a flow through, so there is no, like, the pivot screw is not blocked. Like, you can see through the pivot screw, and it looks to me like it's an Allen key on this one, not Torx. Excellent touch. This one, same thing. I didn't do nothing to this knife. It just came very smooth out of the factory, perfectly centered. Absolutely nothing to do on this one. Action is awesome. Very smooth. Drops freely, as you can see. So I forgot to mention, all these knives have exactly the same steel, which is the 14C28 Sandvik steel that Real Steel uses on all their knives. Very smooth. So if I would have just a minor complaint on this one, and really is no big deal, is I wish the detent would be a tiny bit stronger. There's nothing wrong with the action, thanks to like the bearings that work extremely well. but I just like the one, like the tens that as soon as you press, there's no chance to miss and gives you a bigger snap. So this one frame, if I just press very lightly, right, so I'm able to break the detent without the blade going anywhere. So if you would be a tiny bit harder, so you know, as soon as you press, the blade flies out, that would be a bit better. I really love this knife. I mean, that is my favorite of the real steels. Actually, I wouldn't mind saying higher end. I think it's the S series that Real Steel does when they go higher end. I wouldn't mind seeing a higher end of this one with, actually, instead of steel liners being titanium, instead of 4C28 and LMAX steel that they seem to be using in their higher end, and like titanium hardware. That would be awesome, and some real carbon fiber. I'm pretty sure this one is laminate, and I didn't test, but it looks laminate to me just because of how it is. So it would be nice to see like a titanium version of this with actually some, like, you know, sculpted real carbon fiber on it, and a better steel. I would probably go for this one, even though it would be expensive. That's how much I love this knife. It's a great knife, great looking knife. I opted for the satin finish just because I'm not planning on using this one too much, because you know, it's just a knife that I like to own and to play with. But I noticed that already a couple of very light scratches. We won't be able to see it on camera, but some very fine scratches on the blade. But you know, that's one of the downsides of getting you know, a satin finish instead of a stone wash. But I just, you know, for me, the satin finish on this knife suits it better than the stone wash. It comes also within the G10 model for people that like a more grippy handle. Awesome knife. Okay, so last but not least, this one has been giving me some grief since the moment I got it. That's the H6-S1. Oh, I forgot to mention about this one. This one is also very light. Oh, sorry, knocked out the camera a bit. Let me just that. I was surprised how light it is, especially with the steel liners. Like this one runs at about 120 grams, which is surprisingly light, and that is because there is some heavy milling inside. Yeah, we won't be able to catch it. But basically, like the steel liners, they're not full; they're completely open, and the carbon fiber is the one that covers the hole. So going back to the H6-S1, yeah, this one's been giving me grief, and luckily for me, it's the cheapest of the bunch. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. So I mentioned before that when I had to adjust the pivot screw on this one, I noticed that like the thread locker was quite tight. So this one, same thing, it came out of the factory not really centered and actually quite stiff as well. So I wanted to take it apart to first see if it needs cleaning, and second to try to adjust like the blade centering and adjust the pivot to make it smooth. First thing I did is trying to remove like the scale screws. This one came out with no problem. This one I couldn't come out. It was stuck in place, so I ended up having to grab two T6 screwdrivers and basically doing force from one side and the other and kind of breaking the thread locking on that way. I'm using good quality screwdrivers. For people, you know, that know this brand, WIHA makes some very nice. It's a German company, makes very good screwdrivers. So I used two of those, and I was able to break the thread lock and remove this screw, and then I got to the pivot. It wouldn't budge at the beginning. It wouldn't budge. I put some more force into it, and you notice, right, it's just on one side that we have the torque, so I guess there's a locking on the inside. It's probably a polarized pivot or something that holds it in place, so there's only like a possibility to put the screwdriver on one side. I put some force into it, and it moved, I would say, probably 1/8 of a turn, or maybe a quarter of a turn, if that much. And then it wouldn't move at all. I put some more force, and what happens is the screw completely stripped. So now I have the pivot that I cannot either tighten or remove. It's just stuck in this position, so that sucks for me. The knife still functions, except like the blade is touching the scale, but I guess if I want to use it as a user, I can still open it and close it. It's just is touching the carbon fiber scale. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that. There's nothing I can do on my side. I tried to put it in the freezer to see if I would be able to break the thread lock. It didn't break, and now basically none of the screwdrivers that I put here are able to do anything because the screw is completely stripped. Which begs the question: why does Real Steel use a thread locker that is so hard? I mean, thread locking is fine, although in my mind, like, manufacturers shouldn't be using thread lockers on their knives out of the factory. Let the people adjust whatever they need to adjust, and then people can put thread locker if they want to. But if I put thread locker on my knives, I put one that is very light, that is easily broken if I need to. These guys, they put something so hard that it's pretty much impossible to take it off. And I noticed that on this one. It was quite hard, but luckily the thread lock broke off. But on this one it didn't, and now the knife is stuck. I cannot go forward or back, so I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can contact Real Steel, see if they can do something. It's a pain in the ass because, like, I'm in Canada and I got this knife shipped to my family member in the US, so I don't know exactly how this, what is gonna happen. So I'll need to send a few emails and see what can I do about it. But okay, like, my screw up aside, no, not really my screw up, but the damage done aside, the knife itself, it's a very nice knife, very nice for EDC, a bit smaller. What's the size of it? I think 85 millimeters or something like that. A nice stonewash blade. Blade shape is very similar to the one from the Snow Leopard. Oversized thumb stud, which makes for a nice deployment. Not sure what kind of, if it's bearings or phosphor bronze. I would need to check their website and see. I didn't get to open the knife, so I can't really tell you for sure. This one is the carbon fiber version, same thing, most likely a carbon fiber laminate. There's also a locking mechanism at the back, so basically if you engage here, you cannot disengage the liner, the lock bar. And I mean, it's a well-known knife, a lot of people have it. I just like it because it's smaller in size, very nice for EDC, and very light as well. I think this one is a bit over 100 grams. And so the pocket clip is the same as in the Snow Leopard. Not super deep carry, but deep enough. Actually, talking about pocket clips, yeah, basically these two are the same one, and then the Griffin and the C-Eagle have a bit different pocket clip. All work fairly well. There's nothing really to say about the clip. Of all the knives, the lightest one is this one because of the aluminum scales. This one goes below 100 grams, if I believe. Okay, so here it is for my small but growing Real Steel collection. I forgot to mention, all come in this nice rigid Real Steel box, which is actually a good quality box, especially given the price of those knives. It comes in a much better packaging than much more expensive knives. They all come with a little manual, or I mean, that's a welcome card, and it gives you information on the knife that you purchase. For example, this one is the Snow Leopard. Okay, so see, mechanism back lock. Oh, sorry, I said 12 C28. It's 14 C28N for the blade steel. My mistake. Blade length 90 millimeters, thickness, handle G10, and the weight and the open position and whatnot. So it's nice to have a little bit of information on the knife that you purchased, and they also all come with like a microfiber cloth. So a really nice touch for those knives. So my opinion on it, I think like they offer very good quality for the price. Some of these Real Steel knives are quite awesome. I'm really fond of actually I like all of them. My favorite one, as I said, being this one. I was very pleasantly surprised with the Griffin as well. So I think Real Steel quality is very good for the price. The only thing is, so maybe they need to tighten a bit their quality control, I don't know. So these two came perfectly centered and perfectly smooth. These two, the blade was not centered that well and they were a bit stiff. That's why I had to adjust. So that's part of the QC that maybe they can improve a little bit. One thing that they need to stop is using this stupid like extra strength thread locker, because people need to adjust their knives, and it made it very hard, if not impossible. Like, it was very hard on this one, and this one I messed it up. So another knife that I'd like to mention, it wasn't purchased under the name Real Steel but under the name Sanramu, and I bought this one maybe a year and a half ago, and that's the Sanramu 9063, which sells under the Real Steel name E963. Same thing, so that's part of their budget line. Can't remember the steel on this one, but I believe it's 8CR13 MOV. I would need to double check. And same thing, so this one I bought it for like I think $15 on Fastech, and usually it sells for about like $30 in the other website. Awesome blade and very nice knife for the price. So it's basically the same as the Real Steel, except it's not branded. The Real Steel one has the Real Steel logo on it. And that's it. That's about it. What else to say? No, I think that's it for this one. Will I recommend the Real Steel brand? Yes. Will I recommend trying to adjust the pivot? Yeah, well, do it at your own risk, and be careful while doing so. Will I be purchasing more Real Steel knives? Definitely. There's still a couple of models that I'd like to get. One being the H9 Takin. I find it to be a very interesting knife, and I'd like to get the Thor as well, the T101 Thor. But yeah, so here you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the quick overview of these knives. Oh, one thing to mention, if you're in the States, the place I got these knives, it's hrknives.com. For people in the US, that's the cheapest place that I've found that carry for the Real Steel knives. Usually like quite a bit cheaper than Blade HQ and Knife Centers and whatnot. So I'll put a link in the description below, and if you're interested in one of those knives or any Real Steel knives, check them out, because like I found their price to be the best in the US, the ones that I found at least. The service was fine as well. They shipped within a day or two every time, and the knives arrived like at my family member's house like a couple of days later. So they ship pretty fast as well. I don't know if they're gonna be the ones handling, this knife, or what I'm gonna do with this one, but we'll see that later. Okay, guys, as I mentioned, I have another couple of reviews coming up of some pretty cool knives, so stay tuned. Bye.